and as Ben just very kindly said, I play Molly Hooper, and I'm a bit overexcited because I spoke to Mark Gatiss yesterday, and I suddenly realised the next time I'll be saying that will be when the Sherlock cast is sat around a big long table with lots of hobnobs, and we do the read-through for Series 3. So, it's a shame he can't be here tonight because he knows way more about Conan Doyle than we do.
Is he not? What? He's not coming?
It's just
Not coming?
But he's just they're not here. So he's just filed his... He's just filed his first draft of episode 1, and he's really rather excited. That's why he's too busy. Okay, I'm here tonight with my journalist hat on, but I just wanted to say up front, please don't expect Jonathan Ross, because although I have interviewed many people before, I've never done it in front of anybody. Quite a few of you, so it feels quite odd to be up here. And this week I've been having some rather strange anxiety dreams, including last night, when I dreamt that I wet myself on stage and tried to blame it on Benedict. I think 24 of the stories and all of the novels for the radio over 40 years. So he knows his apples. He thinks ours is the best on account of the relationship. So that's okay.
Do you want to ask you a question?
No.
What other dreams did you have?
I did have another one. I did tweet about it though, so forgive me if you've read it. This is
I'm not on Twitter, so I want to hear this.
It was that I was... It went a bit wrong. I was running along a lane of the Shires with Martin, with a little Retruso nose, aged 12, running next to me, and I had nothing on my top, and I was doing like computer game jumps. It was all about tonight. Basically being chased by a dragon, which I obviously assumed must have been. Anyway, that was Monday. Obviously we don't want to go on and on about the other recent adaptation of Sherlock Holmes stories, Elementary, but you left your hat in the dressing room.
I've got an elementary hat.
It's got an elementary baseball cap. I think it's very fun. Maybe you could go and get it.
What a great joke that'll be.
Please
so,
don't. But anyway, I thought it would be obtuse not to mention it, given that you and Johnny Lee Miller worked together for so long, basically playing each other's parts.
Yeah, last time I was in front of this many people, either he or I were naked.
I'm sure they won't mind it. I'm not taking mine off. I was going to ask if, do you think that was what gave the dastardly Americans the idea to cast him? And also, did you have any advice for him?
No comment. No, I will comment because there's been miscommented about this. So it's nice to talk to a few friendly people, 2,000 odds, and put it straight. Under no circumstances would I want Johnny to have anything but a rip-roaring success. Because first and foremost, he is my friend, and we're both actors. And while it's very gratifying to be told that you are such and such a Sherlock Holmes, this is one role, this is one incarnation, and I know it's why we're all here tonight primarily, but you can't take possession of it. He's the 72nd of the 71st of the 70th, which was Robert Downey Jr. So it would be pathetic. I made a joke, and I shouldn't have done it, and I made a joke which never translates. But humour in general, out of context, doesn't translate. One of the many lessons I've learned this summer while doing lots of talking for other people who didn't want to do talking about pretend. So I just know now to be very careful about mentioning anything that could vaguely be misinterpreted. But this isn't to take away from the absolute truth of what I'm saying, which is that I've seen it, and it's fantastic. And the bit where you find out that the killer is in fact now, it's really good. You should all watch it on Tuesday, I think it is. He's phenomenal. He's completely different. He's far more contained. He's stunning to watch as well. I mean, he's just a beautiful specimen, Johnny. And he really knows what he's doing. It's completely got under his skin, and it's another Sherlock for the 21st century to enjoy. So, was I cynical about them going to him and asking? Yeah, but know, I've yet to talk to the network about where their original thoughts came from to cast him, but I know for a fact they kept on going back to him, so he must have knocked it out of the park in the auditions. And I know for a fact that he was dubious about doing it because of myself and obviously Jude, who he's known since they were kids. So he felt really nervous about it, he wasn't sure about it, and he asked if I was alright with it, and I said, of course I am, you know, of course I am. And so the thing that always gets quoted now, because people want to sell the programme off to friends who are friends having a fight that they're not having because they're friends, is that what I've said, which I haven't said, which I didn't want them to do, and it's not true, I didn't. Even what I've just said can now be taken out of context.
It will.
So don't take me out of this. But I generally, just to cap on it, I do wish him all the best with it. He's got a phenomenal job ahead of it because it's how many episodes? 13 or 12 or 13? Yeah, it's a 5-year series. Yeah.
That's going to take ages in makeup, that's the only thing I thought.
Yeah. He's got some real ones as well, which I think are important. He's got real tattoos, which might be No, there's always time. But he, you know, and Lucy Liu is wonderful. It's another great relationship.
I got in a lot of trouble on Twitter for mentioning, it was the Radio Times' fault actually. They asked me really fast loads of things and they asked me what I thought.
Actually confusing.
Yeah, of a woman playing Watson. I said I wasn't quite sure about it.
Well, I think maybe we should all just suspend judgment until we see it, and that's the thing, isn't it? And it's like there was another 2 sheets worth of fish paper in the Times today about it. Apparently, I'm not happy. Apparently, but we couldn't. I mean, it's just fine. It's more than fine. It's brilliant.
Let's move on to ours. I was going to ask you what it is like filming Sherlock. I am there sometimes, but what's it like when I'm not there?
It's lonely and sad and...
What's your favourite part of filming?
You.
Oh.
We get on very well. We do get on very well. But oh God, favourite part is whiskey. That's my favourite part. The drink at the end of the day. No, seriously though, my favourite part. There are a few. Can I list a couple?
It's your night.
Bless you. No, so basically at the end of a deduction, when I've got that done, that's always a nice belt untightening reliever. The other moments are when I actually get to run about and have fun and be a bit of an action hero, which I love doing. It's just fun. It's boys with toys. It's just fun. And then I think where I've got a rat-tat-tat with Martin, where I've got sort of flowing dialogue with him, and also actually here's the biggest thing for me. The biggest thing for me is when I can start, and Stephen's seen this from the first episode. I think it's very much about how the series has progressed. He's seen what I want to bring to it, and I think he started to shift a little bit into that territory, which is to humanise it slightly. Yeah. Well, but with huge reference to the original stuff. But it's very satisfying as an actor to show vulnerabilities. Not all the time, because he's such a front foot forward character, and the comedy works with that, as does his prowess and brilliance. But there are moments where he gets things wrong, or where he has to be brought up short, and I enjoy those moments. I enjoyed the humility he shows at the top of the building at the end of the 3rd episode of the last 3. What else did I enjoy? Oh, the cloak's nice, not in summer. Running around, I've said that. Driving the Land Rover was fun, shooting guns is always good. Talking really fast, but actually getting the words right is one of the best things in the world. And you. What's the most what's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you on set? I'm going to lay off the whiskey, I think I'm going to stick to water. Well, there is yeah. Okay, so the scene where I'm in Buckingham Palace. Filthy, all of you. And the sheets around my waist. And so the moment Mark steps on it, and I walk off and it unravels and I jerk to a stop. There was one where we didn't quite get the length right, and I jerked to a stop, had no way of stopping, and just fell. Which is that was the funniest thing I've ever done that you'll never see. What's that? You have a pair of pants on. You. Yes, I did. No, not really, not really. It's very weird to be in your own audience, so there's always things that you see as an actor that make you, well, all of it makes you self-conscious to begin with, it's horrendous, but when you start getting used to the fact that there are hundreds of other creative people involved, you can sit back and go, I like music. That editing's really good. I love Martin Booth, and that face that Rupert's putting in the background, that's one of my favourites. When Rupert slowly realises that his wife's still having an affair at the Christmas party, that's beautiful. So that's one of my favourite moments.
I like
the slow-mo bit a little bit, the kind of kidding me like that a little bit, it's a bit childish. But yeah, that was I like that.
You have to move in a funny
way.
way.
You can see Martin's face, obviously he was just a little blob on the pavement, waiting for a bigger blob to land by his feet. And that was really wonderful to see what he'd done on the other end of that phone conversation. I mean, I could hear it. We were wired so we could hear each other, so we were speaking in real time, because often, obviously, on phones, even if you're on the same shot, often you're not able to hear the other person. But the wizardry in my ear, which meant I could hear everything he was doing. But to see it was really, really, really moving, and him being in shock afterwards was. I mean, it's ridiculous, but it made me cry. So,
I called him a read-through. It was so embarrassing next to him. And then I sobbed again when I saw it. We all watched it together. And Amanda, who's Martin, this is also a regurgitated anecdote, so give me even one person's credit. Anyway, Amanda Abington, who's Martin's wife, was sitting at his feet there. I was here, and she was sobbing. And I tried to cover up my sob with a laugh, and it was like, it was so embarrassing. It was so moving. I thought it was beautiful.
You mustn't put that stuff up because...
No, because it does that.
I was going to say something really trouble. You need to express yourself. But no, it's not even that. It's just that the worst sounds then come out. I was doing...
Grunt.
Well, I did Hedda Gabler, and I was at the front of the stage. It was a scene with Mrs. Elvsted that Lisa Dillon played, and Hedda's in the background creating mischief, and I'm concentrating on this very distraught woman, this Tesman. And this woman in the audience of about 50 people on a very hot summer matinee. We had quite big crowds, but that day was very, very quiet, so this noise just echoed in the Duke of York's theatre. And she was trying to stifle the sneeze, but it came out as poo! I was like this, and all I could do was just, I was crying with laughter. I tried to make it to do with how upset I was about what was happening to Mrs. Elvsted. I don't know, look at me. We couldn't speak, we could not speak, it was the funniest thing.
She's a terrible corpse, Elisa. I just worked with her at a room.
We work with each other lots of times, so the problem is I could completely see when she's going. It's like,
tries to make you laugh on stage. She's naughty.
Oh, I don't know about that. I've never said that.
No, she does. She did it in a nice way. It was very end of the run. I was going to ask you, did Sherlock ever open Molly's present? He didn't, did he? Do you want to know what was in it?
I think he got a little bit distracted.
Do you want to know what it was in it, Benedict?
What was it in?
It was a Borat mankini. Moving swiftly on. Right, series 3. Right, breathe. Stephen and Mark. I know, I'm sorry.
Right.
Stephen and Mark have given us 3 clues about series 3. Rat, wedding, and bow. Can you elaborate?
No.
I did ask.
Excellent.